Ngozi is a girl everyone knows for going errands in the village. She will go to door asking for an errand to do in exchange for food and money. Once upon a time, there lived a young beautiful girl called Ngozi. Her parents had died on a ghastly motor accident on their way back from town after selling farm produce. Every market day Ngozi's parents will carry farm produce to the town to sell and they returns home before dawn. Ngozi's father was a very successful farmer, her mother do other businesses, and also help in the farm. They were not so rich, but they have a beautiful big house in the village. They never lacked. They takes good care of Ngozi, the only child they have. They sent her to school and makes sure she never lack. On that fateful day, her parents traveled to the town. They normally left Ngozi with their neighbors till they returns as there was no school that day. They went to the town as usual carrying what they derived from the farm to sell in the town to make some money. That particular day Ngozi had told her parents that she had a nightmare. Her father told her not to worry, they will return home before she knows it. But Ngozi continued crying and holding her mother's hand. Her mother gave her a hug and handed her to their good neighbor as usual. They embarked on the journey with some other villagers to the town market. After selling their items, they entered same car returning home when the accident happened. Everyone was not left out. Everyone lost their lives including the driver. The shocking news got to the village. People were so shocked, people wept. Many families wept, because they also lost their loved ones. Ngozi's parents were very nice people. People loved them because of their generosity. They always show kindness to anyone they come across. They kept the news from Ngozi their daughter for many years. Ngozi was only 10 years old when she lost her parents. On hearing the sad news, Ngozi's mother's sister came from the next village where she lived with her own family. She took Ngozi with her and made sure she didn't tell her what had happened. Ngozi had asked her aunt when is her parents coming back. But her aunt lied saying, her parents will return after some days with more money and good things for her. The villagers arranged for mass burial for the one's loss. Ngozi's aunt also kept the burial away from her, which was the best thing to do then anyway, as Ngozi was just 10. She will be so heartbroken at that tender age. Ngozi started living with her aunt with family. Initially her aunt was so fond of her and always have pity for her for losing her both mother and father at once. She always make her do light house chores and feeds her well. She also promised to train her in school as her own children also attend school. Aunt Kayoma, Ngozi's aunt, manages to take care of her family. Her husband is a very lazy man who only sits all day and eat and drink. He does nothing. Aunt Kayoma will go to the farm, attend to her little trade of palm wine business. Their house is not as big as Ngozi's father's house, but they manage. Ngozi, coming from a bigger house and well-fed, also tried to manage with them, and as a well-trained child, she did not complain. She always respects her aunt and uncle. She also plays with 3 cousins when they returns back from school. As days goes on to months and months to a year, Ngozi was still hoping to resume school. Ngozi confronted her aunt, reminding her about her promise of putting her in school. Her aunt was very furious and changed immediately. Told Ngozi that she can't afford to train her in school. She told Ngozi to go errands for people in exchange for money. That her parents are never coming back to her. That day was the saddest day ever for Ngozi. She wept and wept, but no one consoled her. Ngozi started going errands for the villagers in exchange for money. In the end she will bring the money to her aunt. Ngozi fetches firewood, fetches water from the stream, washes dirty dishes and clothes for the villagers, helps with from work and hawk things in the market for them. They loved her and made sure they pay her. Ngozi only eats in her aunt's house once daily despite being the one providing for the family. After the day's work Ngozi would return home to rest, but her aunt will tell her to run house errands without giving her food. After the errands before her aunt would allow her to eat. Ngozi would cry herself to sleep every night. Ngozi was gradually growing into a very beautiful girl. Everyone admires her. One night, Amaka decided to leave her aunt's place to fend for herself and save some money to resume school. Since 10 years old she stopped going school. Now she is 17 years old. She decided to leave. Very early in the morning Amaka packed her clothes and left before her aunt or anyone woke up. Ngozi returned to her father's house. The house that reminds her of so many things. The house she was loved so much by her parents. She was excited to be back and same time cried, because she missed her parents so much. Someone nearby has already told her that her parents died in moto accident. Ngozi wasn't happy her aunt kept that as a secret for long. Ngozi continued working hard, serving people and saving hugely. Back in her aunt's house, she didn't bother to look for Ngozi though she missed her, because of the money she always bring home. After 1 month of saving so much money Ngozi decided to go to the town and serve as housemaid for people then from there go to school. One day, before Ngozi embarked on the journey to the town, she saw her aunt with her family in her father's compound with their belongings. They have decided to live in the bigger house. Immediately carried her luggage and left for the city. Ngozi arrived city not knowing way forward or familiar with anything. She moved from house to house with her luggage. No one agreed to employ her for reason known to them. Until she came to a gate. She knocked and a security man came out and asked her what she's doing there. Ngozi explained that she needed a job, a housemaid job. The security man was very rude and told her to get out of there. But Ngozi was already tired of so much rejections from people that very say, and so she remained there. She refused to go away. The security man continued shouting and asking her to leave until the owner for the house, a very beautiful lady dressed so elegantly. She looked so rich and happy, came out from the house on hearing the noises from the outside. He asked the security man what it was. The security man pointed at Ngozi who was already lying down and refused to leave the compound. "Young lady, what are you doing here?" Ngozi looked up and the rich lady immediately loved her. "Hello young girl. What do you need?" Ngozi greeted the woman and said she need a job. The rich lady said she don't need extra help, as she has so many living with her and working already. Ngozi started crying and the rich lady did the shocking.